dat we in de halve finale gaan komen met het balbezit voor Frank de Boer. Frank de Boer speelt de bal heel goed naar Dennis Bergkamp. Dennis Bergkamp neemt de bal aan. Dennis Bergkamp! Dennis Bergkamp!
Hi, Mr. Leighton here, and you got your second question, a second essential question for Unit 2. Describe the changes in the National Assembly, the Legislative Assembly, the National Convention, and then the directory made in France. First, we'll talk about the National Assembly. They ended feudal privileges of the First and Second Estate. They adopted the Declaration of Rights of Man and Citizen. They also adopted the expression liberté, equality, and fraternity, or brotherhood, and that's kind of the goal, or that's the founding principle of the French Revolution: liberty, equality, and fraternity. They also took over church lands, declared that church officials were to be elected and paid by the state. Basically, you had a state control of the church, and they actually sold a lot of the church lands to pay off some of the debt. They also created a limited constitutional monarchy. So they set up a democracy, but they still had the monarchy. Once they disbanded, and you had the first elected legislative assembly, and this split into three groups. You had radicals, moderates, and conservatives, and they declared war on Austria and Prussia. This was because Austria and Prussia were trying to get the French people and working with the king and nobles to set the king back in power. The third is the National Convention. This abolished the monarchy and declared France a republic, established a public education system. The Jacobin Club, headed by Robespierre, took control of the government, and under Robespierre they changed the calendar. They closed all churches, and this was eventually spread all over just France, not just Paris. And this began a reign of terror against enemies of the state, and this was to try to cement the revolutionaries' gains. This was eventually, the directory was eventually made, and power was firmly in the hands of the middle upper class. This was a period of kind of calm or order. There was corruption. It wasn't as maybe democratic, but at least there was order, and the reign of terror had ended. During this time, Napoleon was given command of French's armies, and eventually he seized power in a coup d'etat.